Alright, welcome back. It's been a good couple weeks since I made my last video. But we're gonna be jumping straight into this bitch because I got 10 minutes before my recording starts lagging, so we gotta do this shit fast. So every Saturday or Friday night, I'm gonna be going over my P&L and how my trading week went for that week that had just passed. So we just closed the charts out. It's currently 6:55 PST, Pacific Standard, and the market's just closed for the week. And I kind of just want to go over what happened last week or this past week, and see where I'm at in terms of how far I've been coming. So this week we made about 500 on our PAs, and we took one loss. I want to say we took maybe 3 wins and then 1 loss. So not too bad. I've been de-risking, to be honest, because now that I'm on a PA, I'm about halfway to passing right now. So I'm pretty happy. We're at 25,622, as you can see here on TraderBait. Oh, you can't see. Let's see. There you go. So 25,622 is where we're at. I'm about halfway to my first payout. Depending on how next week goes, like I said, January's PA has been pretty fucking trash, to be honest. January's PA has been pretty fucking bad. It's been really hard trying to find a trade, and so because of that, I've had to de-risk. So I've lowered my risk to about, I want to say, 120 per trade, and then I allow myself a second trade of about 60, so about half sizing, because of this PA, right? So we need to be ready for what's coming, and if we know the markets that we're trading in are not as favorable as other periods or of times throughout the year, then you have to de-risk, right? You have to know what you're doing, and I've been here long enough to know that now that I'm on 3 PAs, and I've never had 3 PAs, and I've never even been close to a payout. Now that I'm this close, I'm starting to understand how a lot of other traders use discretion to their advantage, and this is what they mean, right? I know that in December PA is kind of trash, right? All of the hedge funds and all of the banks, all of the people that make the markets move the way they normally do are going out on vacation, right? They're closing up their accounts for the winter. For Christmas time, for the holidays, right? That's when things start to really slow down. And then in January, even though we're on the 23rd, a lot of people are wondering, why is PA still failing to pick up? And the reason why PA is failing to pick up is because, right, again, these hedge funds, they're coming back, they're getting into their day-to-day routine, right? You have to understand that a lot of manipulation, if you go into the yearly candle, like for instance, all right, let's just say we get into one chart, right? Right, we look into the daily candle. Right, you see all this chop. We're trading within a range, right? So since we know that we're trading within a range, you know that it's best to, size light and then take what you can. So you got to understand what kind of markets you're trading in, really. So as we can see on the daily chart, we can see that price is trading within this range. Since October, we've pretty much been trading within a range, but since December, right? Look from December 24th. From December 24th till now, we've been trading in a goofy ass range, right? And this is why it's really important to know what kind of time zone you're in. On the yearly candle, it tends to show us manipulation, right? The start of the yearly candle shows a lot of manipulation, right? And then as the year starts to smooth out, then we start to see more and more consistency with price action, with volume, with favorable market conditions. So again, I know what kind of markets I'm trading in. I've been doing this for over a year. I need to use my experience, and I need to put it to use. I know what kind of market conditions are favorable, and I know when to take a trade, when not to take a trade. So with that being said, for everybody out there watching, for the 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 or 30, 50 people that might be watching this later on, it's really important that you understand where you are at in your journey. You need to understand where you are in terms of consistency, in terms of win rate, in terms of data collection, in terms of what you know, your own discretion. You need to understand where you're at, right? For me, all 2026 is about is scaling at this point. 2025 for me was growing. 2024 I learned. 2025 I failed. I took a lot of losses. This year, I'm going to use that consistency. I'm going to put it straight to the test. The biggest thing that I can tell you guys coming into this season is to stop paying so much attention to evals. You need to be full porting them bitches and blowing them bitches or passing them bitches fast. You need to be on it fast. You shouldn't be taking A plus setups and sizing light on evals. It doesn't make sense. You're not benefiting from it. You're not going to get an actual payout from it. So it does not make sense to take your time on these evals. You should not be doing that. You should be waiting for CPI. You should be full porting them bitches. And then when you start to see A plus setups, now when you take them and you win, they're on a funded account. Now you can actually profit from this. Now you can actually benefit from this. So stop taking evals so seriously. Blow or pass them bitches, and that's it. Take your time on the fundeds. That's where you should be taking your time. I'm not saying, you know what I mean, go super slow and super light. I'm going super light. I'm going very discretionary simply because I know what kind of conditions I'm trading in. As conditions start to pick up, I'll go ahead and start to, you know what I mean, risk appropriately and still rely on my discretion. So going back into what we've been doing, or what we're here to do, we are halfway to our first payout. So far, we've been keeping up with the PA requirements. So we have 2 trading days logged down. Our P&L for the accounts are 622, 352, and 482. So my only goal for this is to continue to trade within the bounds of Apex, because Apex payout rules are crazy diabolical. So I'm going to make sure that I stay within the bounds, and I'm going to make sure that I do what needs to be done to take a payout. So I'm going to keep my trading days, my profits, under 500 or somewhere around that place, just so that way I'm not denied a payout based on consistency rules, because Apex does have a 30% consistency rule that you do need to follow. If you need help calculating that, please research that on your own, because I only have 3 more minutes before this shit starts to really lag. But back to what I was saying, we have 2 days logged into these PAs, 2 trading days logged into these PAs. You need 8 trading days and following the consistency rules. So we're on our way, definitely on our way. And I'm going to continue to be picky until I can see that this price action starts to pick up, and then I'll allow myself to be a little bit more laxed on taking trades that I feel a lot more confident in, right? Hence why I put a really big emphasis on discretion. So this is where we're at. I did take 3 wins. I took 3 wins this week. I took 1 loss. The 1 loss, I recouped it after I took a small winning trade after it. So I was able to recoup what I lost and some. So I'm pretty happy about that. But really, I'm just happy with how I've been surviving the markets. If you're blowing fundeds left and right, that's a you problem, bro. You need to adjust accordingly. If you don't know how to trade, and you don't know how to identify, if you don't know how to trade, but if you don't know how to identify market conditions and know when they're favorable versus when they're not, it's everything in trading. And this is why you can't get away from the hard work. You can't get away from having to stare at the charts. You have to get on the charts. You have to be familiar. You have to blow accounts, because you have to know what it's like to trade in a live environment. You need to know what it's like. You need to realize that price can do whatever it wants at any given time. No matter how strong your confidences are, no matter how A+ the setup is, the market can do some fuck shit whenever it wants. And you need to understand that that's the risk that you take when you trade. Simple as that. So again, 3 wins, 1 loss. I'm happy with how I've been using my discretion. I'm happy with how I've been managing the trade. And right now, I'm just surviving right now. As a trader, I'm just surviving these markets. That's literally all I'm doing, and I'm okay with it. There's some people that may say that, I'm being too like sissy with my trades, or they may think that I need to size up. No. I know what kind of conditions I'm trading in. As conditions get better, my wins will continue to compound. And then from there, we'll continue to rinse. My goal is to use these first payouts that I get, if I get it, to max allocate on another prop firm that's favorable towards the way I trade, and move on. This year, I'm really looking forward to just scaling as much as I can. All I want to do is scale as much as I can. So this year is really going to show what I've learned and how far I've come with my psychology, with my risk management, and with my discretion. Because frankly, I am a discretionary trader. So I know how I am, I know who I am, I know what I do, I know how I trade, and I know what I look for when it comes to the markets. The biggest thing that I can tell you is, do you? The biggest thing I can ask you is, do you know? Do you know who you are?